The NFLPA, the Players Association, has said that they're not even thinking about, not even considering playing in a bubble for the playoffs. And Rob G, explain what an NFL playoff bubble would look like. Because I think some people obviously the first thing you think about is the NBA.
It would be more like Major League Baseball's bubble, Chris, right?
Yeah, Rob G, explain it.
Exactly. Rob Parker's got it right. It wouldn't necessarily be a Walt Disney World.
You don't say that very often.
What?
It would not be that kind of situation.
When it's right, you don't have to say it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows it. Okay.
In a hypothetical bubble, they would all be sequestered to, we'll say, Pittsburgh and say, hey, we're going to use the Steelers Stadium.
So they would play all the games in one city.
In one city, and rather than keeping all these guys on one large campus, they would say, all right, this team and this team is at the Hilton, this team and this team's at the Four Seasons, whatever it is, and they would finish off the rest of the month of the playoffs like that.
So what was baseball? That's how baseballs was.
Yeah, remember they had the playoffs were
right,
in.
They were in
then it was all the World Series was in Dallas, and so was some of the was it ALCS or NLCS? Was in Dallas as well, and the other one was in LA.
I gotta be honest. I don't think a playoff bubble is the worst idea in the world for the NFL, and here's why. Because first of all, it would be a month. 6 weeks, I believe. 6 weeks for the Super Bowl teams. The NBA players were away from their families for 3 months, at least 2 months. And then, they allowed families to come in. And so, but some, like LeBron said, he didn't see his kids till after the bubble. So 3 months. So if you can do 3 months, they can do a month or 6 weeks. I'm not saying it wouldn't be difficult. I'm just saying it's doable. Here's the other thing, Rob. Let's look at options. What's better? That these players are in a bubble for 6 weeks, and most of them obviously wouldn't be there for 6 weeks. Or Pat Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or somebody gets COVID during the playoffs and then can't play. I mean, can you imagine if Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers got COVID?
Chris,
or Drew Brees?
If Tom Brady gets COVID before the end of the season, you still owe me those Jordans. I don't want to hear about it.
No, it's the same. It's the LeBron
No,
rule.
it's not. Rob G, I still want my Jordans if they don't make it.
That applies to if Drew Brees doesn't come back. Right, and I know he's getting better and everything, probably will. But if he don't come back, do I still get my Jordans?
Yes, I didn't bet. It wasn't bet. It wasn't bet on what you call it. It was bet, right?
You talking big now?
I'm just saying. Let's okay.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that is the worst case scenario. Sports speaking, is one of these top players from a contender coming down with COVID during the playoffs.
Yes, I get that, but I do believe, too, that the players just reject it, and it must be, Chris, from word of mouth that they just don't want to be confined and put in a scenario like that, even though I get it. What the NBA players did was unprecedented, probably pushed them to the limit and the brink, and probably was unfair to them and their families long term. Like over a basketball game that you were away from your family. And I know they did come, Chris, after 2 months.
Right.
But it was asking a lot. And I think that the idea is just roundly rejected because for whatever reason.
So was it that tough on the baseball players?
No, because the difference was baseball players didn't do it during the regular season. And Chris,
football would be in just the playoffs.
No, I get it, but somehow other than 3 teams in baseball, they were able to do it without, and I think it's more about the protocol and if people are doing the right thing. I just think players, I hear what you're saying. It's only 6 weeks. It's not nearly as much as what the NBA players did, but I just think that the whole notion of it is what they're rejecting. Just that it's not the logistics, it's not, well, this isn't as bad. It's only a month or so. It's not like 3 months like the NBA. I just think that the idea, once they've seen it happen, what they did, They just don't want to do it. I think
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And I'm not gonna rip them. You know, I mean, it's fine. I get it. Not wanting to do it. We all heard about how tough the bubble was in the NBA.
I just can't wait
I'm
till
just
9 months
saying.
pass and see how many bubble babies come out of this. That's what I'm waiting for.
Well, yeah, I don't
Rob
think
G.
it'll be many. You talking about NBA?
Yes. There's
You
gonna
think
be
they
some
were sneaking people in? Women in?
people work there. There could be some bubble
Well,
babies.
one guy Daniel House got nailed, and that was it. That was
That's
the
the
only
one who
one.
got caught. I'm just
Yeah, well,
saying.
All right.
They were
But
baking more
anyway,
than bread there. I'm telling
I'm
you
just
that.
saying the alternative of if a top player catches COVID during the playoffs, my goodness. I mean, we just saw Lamar Jackson miss a game. We saw Cam Newton get it. It's not out of the realm of possibility. You know what I'm saying?
No, I
mean,
know
in that you would have to just treat it like an injury, right? Hey, it was like somebody got hurt.
they would
But
be out the
it
game.
Would,
and
it
you'd have
would
to,
not. Yeah, it wouldn't. I don't think it would sit well with anybody other than maybe the opponent that benefited from it. You know, or opponents that benefited from it. But you know, fans, it just wouldn't sit well. But here's the other thing, and I think we have to recognize too, the players, like the NBA players, what they did was tremendous, and I
it
credit
really
those.
is,
I
Chris.
do. I credit those guys.
Me too.
But-
To do what they did was a lot. Asking
But
a
the
lot.
alternative too was losing all that money,
Yeah, I
and
get
that would be in their pocket too. And there are people that have certain jobs. I'm not even obviously the military. I'm not even going to go there. But there are people that sometimes have jobs where they are away from their family for a month, for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens sometimes. And again, I'm not trying to minimize what the NBA players
But
did
the
because it was
difference,
great.
the difference is the lifestyle that they're used to because of the type of
right.
money they make. It is a major. And Chris, I don't care where they came from or that they grew up with no money or whatever. They're used to a certain lifestyle. That was slumming for a lot of guys.
And it really wasn't that bad. I
No,
mean, it
but
wasn't
you
like
know
they
what
were
I mean.
staying in the Days Inn. No,
No, I know, but it's not their normal lifestyle.
No, there's no question about that. When you have the world is your oyster, you know what I'm saying? And then now you go just to, regular hotels and all that. Yeah, I get that. Your turn to weigh in on this. Should the NFL players consider a playoff bubble? And wow, what if disaster struck and a star player came down with COVID and couldn't play a playoff game?
All right, let's kick it off with Mike in Vegas. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mike?
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Great, brother. How are you?
Doing good. Hey, listen, I got a comment and a question, or question and a comment. Question is, from a betting standpoint, because I'm in Vegas, at what point do you take into effect the COVID situation in terms of betting? What do I mean? Let's say you get in the playoff run and you got Lamar Jackson, right? Do you bet the Ravens because you know he had it already, and the opposing quarterback might not have had it? So that's something interesting to think about in terms of who's had COVID.
It isn't right. At least you know now Jackson's not going to get it. I mean,
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think
Yeah.
we're not going in the weeks typically thinking, oh, what star is going to get it this week and not play. But you're
even
right.
if you don't
that,
have it,
that
though,
does
maybe
give
he
you
plays-
a little more certainty.
But maybe he plays poorly. You know what I mean? Like, I get what he's saying. Was that the only
I
thing
don't
he
think
had?
you can even take it in. He might have got cut off, but
Mike?
yeah.
That's interesting to think about. And then I think there should definitely be a bubble, and it could be a boon on certain economies like Las Vegas. We're struggling. Put everybody up in Mandalay Bay. You got practice fields. You got the new stadium. I think that they should do that to make sure that these sorts of things don't happen. So I think they could suck it up for 6 weeks easy. Nice hotel. They should definitely do it.
All right, Mike. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you. Justin in Tennessee. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Justin?
Hey, what's going on? Big Cowboys fan. I know it's a rough year.
I smell it.
You
I
don't have
smell
to,
it.
Your guys don't have to worry about the bubble. So
Hey, I had to shout out for the Cowboys though. Jerry would definitely go for a bubble in Jerry World.
Oh, yeah. Jerry
I'm sure
wants
he
to make
would.
money. Are you
Yes,
kidding?
yes.
Absolutely.
yeah.
But since I think the Super Bowl is already determined in Tampa, maybe put the NFC teams in Jacksonville, the AFC teams in Miami, and go from there like a bubble, like keep it in Florida.
Yeah, look, I mean, again, to me, it doesn't sound like the worst idea in the world.
Yeah, because you don't have to do it.
Yeah, but
Chris. I'm just saying there's a reason that the union doesn't want to do it, and they just don't want to be hemmed up like that. I'm telling you. Otherwise, I agree with you.
I agree.
I don't think that it's a crazy idea. I agree with you that it's not a crazy idea. But there's a reason that the union is rejecting this, top to bottom.
I agree.
All right, Andrew in Massachusetts. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Andrew? It says Andrew. I thought I was
Andre.
I thought I was like, is there somebody
Andre
else?
Gonna be calling every day after I called him out for going to ESPN.
You know what? Andre's so bad after that. He's calling Mike and the Mad Dog. That show's off the air, Andre. Oh, sorry.
Is this Andre?
You know what I mean? I'm doing what I can. I try to get my reps up. Here in New England, Bill Belichick says, you got to get your repetitions
yes.
up. So that's all I'm trying to do out here in terms of doing what I can. But
all right, hey, real quick. What's the best show in Boston?
Best show in Boston. I'm a big fan of WEEI OMS. You guys have
okay. I'm on that show. I'm on that show once in a while. Okay.
Yes, indeed. So they do a great job, 2 to 6. So I tune in, check those guys out. To the NFL, I just have to say that the NBA model was like having a company in terms of the numbers. The NFL model would be like having a division in terms of all the people that are associated with the team. So a bubble concept would be quite difficult. To me, they might just have to quarantine or form a bubble where they are in their region and limit themselves. And then to the point about if a player gets COVID, the kind of nightmare scenario in the playoffs, what can you do? No man's bigger than the Super Bowl, so you have to kind of charge forward and put all the safeguards in place you can before then. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to just treat it like an injury, Rob.
He couldn't play, even if it's the Super Bowl, Chris. Can you imagine? I mean, there's no way that they could justify it. You can't stop the game. You can't move the game.
Could you
Everything
move
is
it
set.
a week? Move it
No,
back
you
a week?
can't.
Nope, there not going to be many fans there.
No, I get it, but I think television all kinds of different
I
things.
hear you, but think about this. Let's say, theoretically, I know you don't even want to consider it.
You already know I'm going to throw up in my mouth because
right.
I already know what you're
Your
going to say.
mouth got so much vomit in it. I don't know what. But let's say Tampa Bay gets there. And I don't even care who they play, but, say they play Kansas City, Baltimore, whoever you want to throw in. Let's say Tampa Bay gets to the Super Bowl and Tom Brady comes down with COVID. All of America, Rob, would want them to postpone the game a week or two. Don't and it's not just Brady. If it was Kansas City and Mahomes, if it was New Orleans, I don't know, Drew Brees, he's been out a lot, so but you know what I'm saying? Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Everyone would be like, man, come on. First of all, it would likely ruin the competitive nature of the game. Secondly, it would ruin the game. Like, we look forward to Super Bowls, and there's nothing worse than a blowout Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl used to be the worst thing to watch.
Oh, gosh.
And
when
people
people
don't know that. Do you remember that when Denver was in it, Chris, and all those years? There were so many blowouts. I remember, what was the other one? The 49ers and the Chargers. Remember that?
Yep.
Just an awful game.
And not that long ago when Seattle demolished Denver.
Right.
Remember that?
Yep.
I was so looking forward to that game, Manning against that great defense, and it was just a mess from the beginning. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I get what you're saying. I don't know if you could do it.
I don't think you can move it.
Goodness.
I really don't. So that's interesting because, okay, now here's the problem,
because there ain't going to be
Chris.
many fans there.
No, but here's the problem. Okay, so you moved it for Tom Brady. And then
but
moving
again,
it,
not even Brady. It could be Rodgers. It could be Mahomes.
But here's my point. You moved it for Brady, and next week Patrick Mahomes has it. Now you haven't played.
No, I'm not saying a playoff game. I think regular
no,
playoff
I'm talking
game,
about
I think
the
it is
Super
what it
Bowl.
is. I'm talking about the Super Bowl.
But I'm saying you moved it a week, and then the next week Patrick Mahomes is positive. Now
Oh,
what?
You're saying so then? Well, you move it one more week.
Okay, and then the week after that,
I'm just,
you know what I mean? Some other
I hear you.
important.
I
You know
hear
what I
you.
mean? Like where would it end? Then after that, you could pick a coach, one of the coaches, right, and say that the coach is sick. Chris, now what?
Nah, I hear you. I hear you. It could just become a domino effect.
Right, and then you're playing in June, the Super Bowl.
Right.